Coffee, humanity's most trusted sidekick. The magical elixir that wakes you up, fuels your creativity, and keeps your toilet flushing. Without it, you'd probably still be in bed questioning your life choices. You know, they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but coffee is the real MVP. Without it, I wouldn't even survive looking at a morning person. Think about it. It's the only substance where you can tell people, I'm completely addicted to this. I can't function without it, and instead of judging you, they just nod and go, same. I read that coffee can extend your life, which is ironic because without it, I wouldn't want to live that long. That's right, it helps you live longer, but I think it just feels longer because you're wide awake for all of it. Welcome back for our second video. I'm Dom, sleep is still a myth, and now that Cosmic-Con is over, we have only 12 days to prepare for an upcoming comics and coffee event. And hey, nothing excites me more than the idea of tabling at the source of my favorite drug. Coffee helps me with productivity, sure. For some people, caffeine-fueled productivity means staring at a screen with the intensity of 1,000 suns while aggressively procrastinating. And for some, coffee doesn't wake them up, it just makes their exhaustion vibrate at a higher frequency. For me, I drink so much coffee that I can physically feel time. I had 3 cups this morning and I'm pretty sure that I can see the future now. And look, I tried cutting back on coffee once. Huge mistake. By hour 2, I was ready to fight God in a Rite Aid parking lot. Coffee isn't just a drink, it's a survival tool. Without it, my body is about as functional as a 2007 Nokia flip phone in 2025. Every sip feels like I just equipped an energy potion in an RPG, but instead of fighting dragons, I could hear colors and feel Wi-Fi signals. But we're here because we're tabling at a coffee shop in Bushwick, and coffee shops are wild. I worked at one for a few years, and people overshare. One minute you're just there for a latte, the next you're overhearing some dude confessed to tax fraud over a cappuccino. One time a couple confessed to me that they didn't want to get their cat fixed, so they tugged at Steamboat Willie. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that information, but I do know where the happiest cat in town is located. So stick around, because today we're diving into the world of coffee, comics, and the caffeinated chaos of preparing for a smaller event. Now, Lydia wants to make a custom zine for the event, so it's time to get drawing. Luckily, I'm ahead because I already have a coffee-themed gnome piece, I have a couple panels from my original comic Hunter Duck, and a meme or 2. A 1-page fold-up zine needs 9 images, so I just need to draw 4 more. First, I drew a Link knockoff, and we'll add the text later, and it'll say,
"The beast only fears one thing, a fully awake me!"
The next image is a coffee-stained sci-fi cafe, and if you want to see this piece drawn, then watch me draw it on episode 38 of Spilled Ink on the Comix Wellspring YouTube channel. Next is my favorite thing to draw, ducks with funny faces, which gives us more time to discuss tales of my old coffee shop job. There was this one woman in her 60s, I think, who would come in once a month and wait for the line to be long enough to keep me busy. Then she'd run to the one bathroom we had and lock herself in there for 15 minutes, and by the time 15 minutes had passed, she'd storm out, and I'd know.
Every single time.
She blew it up. Shit was in and around the toilet, all over the floor, up the wall, and one time it touched the ceiling. Like, how did it get on the ceiling? Might I add, she was not a customer, so she was getting her diuretic nectar somewhere else. And the smell. Scientists are currently studying it as a potential chemical weapon. I opened the bathroom door and immediately unlocked a new trauma response. I mean, honestly, if a toilet had feelings, it would have filed a restraining order by now. Well, forget I said strain. And that's exactly what you want to hear your barista say, right? Welcome, I just got done cleaning human feces. Avoid the cold brew. What can I get for you? Next up, I want to draw a piece that recreates the cover of the Comics and Caffeine Fest, how the alien is in a coffee cup. I might add like a sugar packet or something to spice it up. Okay, so I hated my design, and now I'm going to draw my own alien coffee cup picture. Yeah. Now, for the next story, I need you to understand that I am karaoke's #1 hater. I don't get it. Unless, of course, you and everyone around you is drunk. It's silly and it seems fun for intoxicated people, but it has no place in an open mic unless you're genuinely a good singer. Whenever my coffee shop hosted an open mic, people who played guitar, sang, and genuinely worked hard on their craft would show up and show off their covers and originals, but
So, unfortunately,
there'd be someone who wanted us to pull up a karaoke track on YouTube so that they could drain the audience of all the blood we had in our ears. Audience members would then leave every freaking time. So following those war crimes against sound waves, there'd be half the attendance for the guitarists who practiced all week, and the people who stayed had only the energy of a wet paper bag in a hurricane. So one day, I decided to have an acoustic show exclusively for songwriters, and karaoke people wanted blood from our ears. They filed complaints with my boss and everything, but I stood my ground. You want karaoke? Host your own night or go to the bar where they think you sing like an angel. There was one Friday morning where the coffee shop was full. Lawyers having meetings, old men debating politics, and a man with no arms talking to himself about the government, but that's for a whole nother video on its own. Point is, the coffee shop was full capacity. A kid in their late teens walks in, and they've done karaoke at previous open mics and decided to loudly address me about the show.
I heard you were having a talent show next weekend.
Yeah, if you have an acoustic guitar or someone to perform for you, then...
I want to do a karaoke song for my mother.
Yeah, I'm sorry, this is a show for people who play instruments, but if you can wait for the next open mic, then you...
My mother is dead.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to hear that, but this show is for people who...
Let me sing some of it for you now.
And so this kid proceeded to serenade our ears as they caved in on themselves. Everyone was watching. The old men arguing politics covered their ears and agreed on something for once. The line built up and everything. When he was done, he left, and we had a great acoustic show the next weekend with an excellent turnout. All right, and my work for the zine is complete. Lydia is working on her own zine, an autobiographical story called The Coffee Baby.
I knew it was a community-based event in Brooklyn, and I just happened to have my own personal story that circled back to Brooklyn. We're coming full circle, where I was a coffee baby, and I attempted my first comic without Dom. I literally had to paint the whole thing before I could do the line work, but it's basically me escaping my crib at a family gathering. It was a funeral, and asking for coffee. And lo and behold, they gave it to me black, and it was the social thing to just drink it. So I did, but whew. Ever since then, I definitely, as a kid, was never served black coffee again. Who gave black coffee to a baby who couldn't ask for cream and sugar? Couldn't tell you. But it comes full circle at the end of the story to me devolving into a coffee baby, because coffee is an addiction.
And I put my favorites more on display, and I kept the actual figures that, you know how I had the Miles Morales shooting the web at the pumpkin? I kept that up, and I just put the other things around it.
Oh my fucking god! I'm gonna kill.
Not with a stinky snot-nosed kid with hair like some quack Pedro Pascal impersonator. All his so-called wet abilities are bogus. If you really think Gideon can read your toe webbing, you've got another fart coming. And come down to the Mystery Shack. It's where the shitty magic happens. Yo, you know what's crazy? You know what's fucking nuts about this? Trying to scam people by saying you can read their toe webbing is 100% right.
Now, the time is here. Comix and Caffeine Fest is a 6-hour event at Caffeine Underground in Bushwick, Brooklyn. The event was organized by comic creator Mindy Indy. We carpooled with our friend and writer of Mana Kingdom's Mark Bridge. It was an hour drive and worth it. The coffee shop had a punk dive bar feel and an artistic crowd. It only cost $25 to table, so we made our money back within the first hour.
Hello, I'm Mindy Indy, and this is my comic Airhead. It's a sci-fi comedy about a teen surfer and lifeguard named Air, and one night he predicts that a giant solar flare is going to destroy Earth, and so he's got to use his lifeguard skills to try to warn people. Yes, Airhead! Woo! And my Instagram is at MindyIndy_arts.
Hi, my name is Ramon Gill. I am the creator of WizKids from DARPA, and I'm glad to be here at Caffeine and Comix in Bushwick.
I'm at Studio Gerlich. Gerlich's my last name. I'm an indie comic artist and comic professional. I've been doing comics for a very long time. I'm here in Brooklyn today. I'm a boy from Queens, but I used to live down the road.
Once again, Mark Bridge.
What's up?
How are you doing at this event?
Good, listening to some music and chilling, vibing, introducing more people to Mana Kingdom, and then, hopefully this day goes great, but I'm hanging out with cool people.
Hi, I'm Kayla Konichibot, but you can call me Konichibot. I'm also on Bluesky and Twitter, and I'm also on Instagram too.
I'm Josh, writer and penciler of Bad Natures. I'm on Instagram on Bad Natures Comics, Bluesky, Bad Natures, action fantasy drama. Basically boils down to what if God was as messed up as all of us?
I'm Robert Livingston, aka Hayes Writes Stuff. I work on the comics Tom and Artie and Kaiju Days. If you want to find my socials, it's exactly what I said, Hayes Writes Stuff. That go for the first part, or do I keep going? Hi, sorry, I didn't know how long we were going with this, but I guess to give a little bit of encouragement, because I am a comic writer. I've been doing comic writing for around 10 years, and I understand that it's a very difficult process for a lot of creators right now. It's going to be a very rough road if you're starting out in comics. You're not going to get famous in the first month. Hell, not even probably the first year. If you do, more to you. If not, don't let that discourage you. It's going to be a struggle. It's not going to be a race. If you just want to make a book, you make a book. If you want to be successful, you can aim for your success. But just remember, all these things are going to take time.
Namaste. My name is Rajiv Anand. I'm the creator and copywriter of Laserman, the world's first Indian American superhero. As you can see, I've got issues 1, 2, 3 of Laserman. Got a group of supervillains, the most treacherous international organization of morticians who stand the most to gain from people dying. As you can see, we've got merchandise, including ashtrays, stickers, official Zippo lighters. We got night lights to protect you at night, save you from the darkness. So, Welcome to Brooklyn, welcome to Caffeine Underground for Comix and Caffeine. Come down and see us and be enlightened by Laserman. I'll give you a jolt.
We had genuine connections and discussions with customers and vendors. We made profit and left with great memories. It's like we always tell artists looking to start tabling at events, don't go to big cons looking for your big break or to make money, you go for connections. If you want to make money with your art, then table at smaller events, comic shops, and flea markets. So thank you Mindy Indy for this awesome event, and to all those who purchased our hard work. Follow the Comix and Caffeine Fest Instagram and be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can join us on our artistic journey. Peace.